Hi. In the course of looking for suitable topics to talk to you about, I come across some pretty weird and wonderful articles, and I'm often amazed by the different areas that university academics choose to research. And today it's no different. It's about why British people seem to say sorry a lot, even when they have done nothing wrong. You might have experienced this. You know, when you are in a crowded shop and someone is blocking your path or in your way, they will apologise. Or if you bump into someone and it is clearly you that were not looking where you were going, the other person will still say sorry. In the lifts here in the centre, I have called the lift to go from the third floor to the underground car park, and found people in the lift who thought it was going to take them from the first floor to the ground floor. Instead, as I said, it was taking me to the underground floor. They apologised. The situation didn't affect me and the speed of my leaving the building, but it did slow down their exit of the building by quite some time, but they still apologised. Perhaps they were apologising for their own stupidity. Well, let's find out, shall we, by reviewing some research. A recent survey of more than 1,000 British people found that the average person says sorry around 8 times per day, and that 1 in 8 people apologise up to 20 times a day. 20 times! Crikey! That's more than once an hour, if of course you don't count sleeping time. Researching the topic is fraught with difficulties. One way to do it is to ask hypothetical questions, but that of course runs the risk of people not telling the truth or answering the questions as they hope they would act, not actually as they would act. Another way, and this has been tried out by social anthropologist Kate Fox, is to actually force people into reacting to a situation. Ms. Fox researched apologies by actually bumping into people in different places around England. She found that 80% of people said sorry when clearly it was her who bumped into them. Even more weirder, she asked fellow social anthropologists to do the same in other countries. Only the Japanese were more apologetic than the British. Social anthropology, by the way, is the comparative study of the ways in which people live in different social and cultural settings across the globe. Now, all of this doesn't explain why the British say sorry a lot. I wouldn't say that it's because we care more about our fellow citizens. So to find out the answer, we need to look firstly at the epistemology of the word sorry. Epistemology is the study of the origin of words, and there is a good example. Epistemology comes from the Greek words for knowledge and word, episteme and logos respectively. Now, the origin of the word sorry comes from the Old English word sarig, which means distressed or full of sorrow. Nowadays, however, we use the word in a much more casual manner. When we say sorry, we are not really full of sorrow or distressed. In many cases, we use the word sorry to express our empathy with other people. For example, we might say sorry about the bad weather to someone who has just returned from a weekend break when the weather was not great. In this case, we are not sorry, meaning we're distressed or full of sorrow, but we want the person to know that we empathise with them. We understand that they had hoped for nicer weather that weekend. Interestingly, the word also increases the bond of trust between people. In a study by Harvard University, a male actor who was 65 years old asked random people if he could borrow their phone. Only 9% of people agreed to lend the man their phone. However, when the man said sorry about the rain and then asked to borrow their phone, 47% of the strangers lent him their phone. I should add that the research was carried out on rainy days. What the man did, that's the actor, was to express empathy for the rubbish weather to increase his trustworthiness. Other studies have tested whether it is the apology for the weather or the politeness of the request for the phone that is more important, and these studies concluded that it was indeed the weather apology that increased the likelihood of success in borrowing the phone. Another researcher called Schumann wanted to know if women apologised more than men. They do. Schumann concluded that women are not necessarily more polite than men, but they do take more situations as deserving of an apology. So, for example, if a woman is at a cash machine at a bank and the machine is taking ages to give the money, the woman might feel that the situation calls for an apology to those people waiting behind, whereas a man at the cash machine would not. So when you are out and about in the city, keep an ear open for the situations where British people apologise. It might be interesting to replicate, for fun, the bumping into people study, just to see what they say. But at the same time, it might be dangerous, as this is often a trick used by pickpockets. So you might be accused of trying to steal someone's purse. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't replicate that study. Or if you do, don't blame me if someone hits you. Okay, thank you very much.